on their home court.
Let's take a look at the lineups again without those two key players. UNLV counting on Mountain West Freshman of the Year candidate Steven Zimmerman, a lot on his shoulders down low. And Fresno State's Cullen Russo gets his third start, a versatile post player for the Bulldogs. Fresno State winning the conference play. Here we go. It's a night in navy. Fresno State decked out in the blue. UNLV normally wearing white at home. They'll wear white on the road, and we're underway as the Runner Rebels control the opening tap. Both teams aren't very deep. It'll be interesting to see if foul trouble is a factor late in this one.
Trey, you mentioned it's so difficult in the Mountain West. Those losses to San Diego State and San Jose State.
In the corner, a jumper on the money for Dwayne Morgan. They don't look to his shooting from the outside often, and he drills it from the corner, just his third three of the season.
That was good poise by UNLV first possession. They look for the lob to Jones to get it going on the road, but they go deeper in the shot clock. Good possession.
Here's Paul Watson, the Phoenix product, looking for Harris off the curl. Cuts the inside, blocked by Zimmerman, into the hands of Patrick McCaw. This is where they're good in transition. They like to get their shots in the first 10 seconds of the clock, and they get a shot quickly here. Zimmerman can't convert on it. Out of bounds, it will stay with UNLV.
You see the versatility of Zimmerman. He's great as a trailer with long-range shooting, and there he dives to the basket with a good shot attempt, and they retain possession due to the Rebels.
Seagears missing from the corner. Rebound inside. Zimmerman, foul on the floor. I think sometimes lost in Zimmerman's play is that he's a freshman. He's almost averaging a double-double. 9 double-doubles this season.
And again, a highly heralded recruit secured by Dave Rice. So many top-flight talent that Rice was able to recruit to the Thomas & Mack Center on campus.
Donald's All-American in the same vein as Rashad Vaughn and Anthony Bennett. Here he is, double-teamed this time. McCaw will fire a three. Short, and Edo the rebound. 3-0 UNLV. Minute and a half in here from the Save Mart Center. Again, Harris on the curl. Edo jumper. Misses. And the rebound pulled down by Seagears. Look how they push the tempo, Bill. Seagears is blocked, though, by Harris. Russo poked from behind. Jones lost it. Here comes Harris the other way.
Now, sometimes in the schoolyard, you say you can't run a clean sewer. It's a little choppy right now, but we've seen excellent illustration of, as you alluded to, Trey, both teams wanting to push. Of course, Fresno State perhaps more selectively.
Guerrero, who's really been shooting it well from the field, over to an open Russo, and he drills a three. This kid has plenty of potential, a versatile four. That's his 7th three. He's not known as a great outside shooter.
Characterized around the program as a reluctant shooter, but an excellent body, good poise.
Tied at 3 here. Both teams able to knock down a shot from distance. Jones with the jumper. That's a three that misses. Harris the rebound. Bulldogs run it. 18-footer off the front iron. Here come the Rebels. They've got numbers. Seagears to the paint. Not there. Tip in will go for Patrick McCaw.
In the first meetings between these teams, UNLV was limited to 5 fast break points. And of course, that's certainly that Todd Simon and the Runner Rebels want to change on this occasion on the road.
5-3 lead for UNLV. 16.5 minutes to go here, first half. First matchup, a 3-point win by Fresno State. Here's Guerrero over to Russo, and he is bumped and fouled. That's going to go on Derek Jones. We mentioned neither one of these teams can afford to get in foul difficulty with the limited benches, with the injuries to 2 front court players. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
And again, Trey, that is a mantra that we hear so frequently. So important to foul without defending, to play with discipline on the defensive end. Remember, the defensive possession does not end until you secure a rebound. That shoot around, both coaching staffs preaching to us how important rebounding was this afternoon.
Into the corner, Guerrero, three is there. A couple threes for the Bulldogs, and they have a 6-5 lead. Guerrero, one of the best in the conference. He's at 41% from beyond the arc. Cornish trying to answer, short. Seegers had it, lost it. Here comes Harris. Watson to the rim, and one.
Fresno State gets a stop. They get out in transition, and good things happen. Guerrero and Watson stepping up early. Both veteran guys have been around the conference. UNLV with essentially just two players that have played at the Save Mart Center.
Yeah, 6 newcomers on this UNLV squad, and then the 3 seniors, 7 juniors for the Bulldogs. Quite a contrast there. 9-5 Fresno State leads it, and we have a foul away from the ball here on the Bulldogs, Guerrero. And a timeout. Good start for Rodney Terry's team. He gets a couple three.
The countenance and also the voice similar to Tom Thibodeau. They won 3 straight when he took over after the initial 0-3 start in conference. Now they've lost 3 of 4, including 2 straight.
Without Ben Carter, maybe a different team, and there's a turnover on UNLV. It remains to be seen. There's a team that has beaten Boise State, but that was with Carter in the lineup. But you take a junior out that tore his left ACL against San Diego State, almost 9 points, 6 boards a game. He's kind of the heartbeat of the team, and how do you replace that?
Yeah, you have to do it collectively, and there are so many things from a mental standpoint, the avarice for winning, the intangibles, the energy off the bench that Carter really brings, and that's a significant loss for UNLV.
Speaking of Carter, here's Terrell Carter in the lane, who's just checked in for the Bulldogs, missing the hook shot. Zimmerman running the break. Good ball rotation. Into the corner, McCaw with the 3, buries it. UNLV's hit a couple of those from long range. It's 9-8.
Reminiscent of Corey Brewer. McCaw feeling it. We saw both teams in shoot-around Trey going through 5-on-0 with great punctiliousness, going through their half-court sets.
Julian Lewis with the 3, and the answer for Fresno State from Juice, who's only 3, make it 4 of 19 from distance. He steps up.
He shot that one with confidence.
Seegers throws it out front, nobody there except for Lewis. Harris missing. And I don't know how Harris could not convert there.
Great transition defense by Zimmerman, closing in a hurry. I think he did get in the mix there, Trey, as a deterrent, Zimmerman. One of the things about UNLV that's striking is, in shoot-around, they're loose. Todd Simon seems comfortable taking over despite the injuries. And
there's a tie-up. Russo tying up Jordan Cornish on the drive. And a possession arrow pointed the Bulldogs' way as Watson will come back in. Russo will take a seat. Both teams active defensively, if nothing else here.
Yeah. See UNLV picking up full court man-to-man. Trey, you're right, exploiting their athleticism. And of course, UNLV very successful at turning teams over. McCaw, one of the top steals in the conference and the country.
3rd in the nation in the steals category, and he's trying to lock up with Harris, who drives right by him and Zimmerman, and it rolls in. Harris gets his first points here, and it's a 14-8 Bulldogs lead.
See the dexterity of Harris's game. Ability to shoot it from the perimeter and finish.
Good position for Zimmerman, but he misses a hook shot. He had everything he wanted with the shot there. Guerrero all the way to the cup. Not there. Inside. Carter, the rebound, can't follow. Tipton was there, and that's Watson. The activity on the glass important for Fresno State in this one early on.
Fresno State 11-4 when they out-rebound opponents. They're going after the offensive glass like we go after the pregame meal.
16-8 lead now for Fresno State. A miss from Zimmerman, and the Bulldogs running again. Juice Lewis in the middle. Sticks the jumper. 18-8, a 9-0 run, the biggest lead for Fresno State. And they are cooking. They started by hitting the outside shot. Now they're attacking, and everybody getting involved.
And we see Fresno State winners of 3 of their last 5. And you mentioned it, Trey, a tough loss on the road at San Jose State. And that overtime loss where Guerrero hit the step-back one-footed 3 to send it to overtime, but losing in overtime at Viejas.
And here is Jalen Poyser on the drive, and the freshman from Ontario, Canada, is fouled. Bulldogs will go to the bench. Edo in. Harris gets a breather here at the 12:51 mark. 18-8 Fresno State lead. Ike Wamu on the drive. Bumped. Hits the shot anyway.
Big time play by Wamu, creating the contact and absorbing it, and the ability to finish strong.
He's playing with a heavy heart, wearing number 34 in honor of his fallen former Mercer teammate, Jibri Bryan. He'll wear 34 rest of the year. Normally dons the number 0. Speaking of 0, here's Juice Lewis with it. They run the weave. Watson short on the jumper. It will stay, though, with the Bulldogs.
In a half-court scenario, it's so difficult to guard deep into the shot clock. How are you defending those dribble handoffs? You're going underneath. Are you switching? Put stress on the defense. Takes a little bit of that juice out of your offense. You must be mentally strong if you're UNLV trailing by 8 on the road early.
You don't want to dig a big hole, and right now, 8-point hole, 8 minutes in. Russo back on the floor now. Lewis, the Texas transfer. Watson against Morgan. From the corner, short for Lewis, and it's tracked down by McCaw. McCaw with that 6'7" frame looking ahead. He wanted to lob it to Jones, which is always a good idea. But before he could get off the floor, he was bumped and fouled.
Jones, of course, a YouTube sensation.
If you just joined us, he'll miss this game with a medical issue. He is day-to-day, but a lot of other good pieces here. Here's Wamu on the inside, not there. Tipped by Jones, not there. Second time is there. He is like a jumping jack on the inside.
Relentless, inexorable. We see UNLV trying to pick up the pace here defensively, but Fresno State handling the pressure.
And there's a foul on the floor. David Hall with the call there on the drive by Lionel Ellison. First personnel on Poyser, the freshman. Ellison's going to check out now. Edo. And there's a foul on Morgan. Morgan has fouled out of 3 games this year. He picks up his first.
Now that's a tough one, Trey, because you're being very thorough in preparation. We saw Stacey Augman walking UNLV through out-of-bounds plays, and Morgan just late there, and Edo very crafty and intelligently ducking in and getting to the free throw line.
Karachi Edo has improved each season, leads the team in block shots, second in rebounds, and he's undersized at 6'6", 230, but he can really climb the ladder, and has had a really good career at junior out of Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, he's a very strong and intelligent player. And Taron Jones went for 18 points, Trey, in that win for Fresno State at UNLV earlier this season in their first meeting, a 69-66 win for the Bulldogs on the road.
19-12 lead here for the Bulldogs. 11:24 to go first half, as Rodney Terry's done a good job of rotating players in and out. Ellison comes in for Watson. He's not shy about going to his bench here in the first half.
I like that strategy. Get guys in, get them acclimated. Again, we talked about foul trouble potentially being a factor.
Wamu missing. Guerrero, the long rebound, had it poked free, and Wamu gets it back. Run Rebels force the turnover. The alley-oop, and there's Jones.
Derek Jones just showed up on the Fresno airport air traffic controller report.
High above the rim.
A tremendous leaper. What a talent.
One of the top dunkers in college basketball, 5-point lead now. Russo on the drive had it poked free, but a foul called. And they're going to get Jones on the personal here, and that's his second. Team foul number 5.
And of course, for UNLV, great decision by Wamu. And just Jones all over it. We talked about that at shoot-around, Trey. You just throw the ball at the square when you've got a talent like Jones on the floor. And it's so difficult to quantify and also play consistently. We talked about, flashes of brilliance, and of course, UNLV beating Boise State by 10, a 55-37 second half. You want to try to maintain that level of play. It's tough with young players to do that, but of course that's the goal.
Guerrero can't get it in, and Fresno State will call a timeout here with 10:43 to go. First half, a 19-14 Fresno State lead over UNLV.
Life easier, particularly the way Todd Simon and UNLV wants to play.
He talks about playing with a free mind, and at times they have done that. The win against Boise State, one of those moments. Here's Harris, picked up by Wamu this time defensively. Gets the screen from Edo. Ellison three. That's not his cup of tea, and he misses on it. Poyser gets ahead of Harris. Misses the lay-in. Here comes Russo.
So that was an excellent example of how they want to attack. You get a strong defensive rebound. Zimmerman, a big man with great vision, delivering. Poyser just unable to convert.
Harris cutting inside, and he draws the foul.
And that's the prevailing wisdom of many progressive offensive minds, that the easiest opportunities you'll get will occur early in the shot clock. And you see Harris, who KYP, know your personnel, like the best looking person in the club, attracting so much attention, rightfully so.
That was the 16th foul, the first on Wamu, as Harris, 75% free throw shooter, cashes in the first one. Ellison will go to the bench. 2 for 16 in the loss at San Jose State. You will not see that often from this special player. Harris gets a couple free throws there, and he has 4 points. 21-14 Bulldogs as we hit the 10-minute mark.
Psychologically for UNLV, if you convert here and it's a 2-possession game, you're feeling pretty good.
And they do with the McCaw 3 straight away.
And there you go, Trey. As you mentioned, it's been sloppy, not a great effort from an execution standpoint. But here you are on the road, young team, and you're only down 4.
McCaw leading all scorers now with 8 points. As the lead is 4. Harris driving past Wamu. The reverse won't go. Zimmerman tried for it. It's finally corralled by McCaw. Looking ahead for Wamu. Good play by Russo defensively. Gets it back. Draws contact. He'll head to the free throw line.
Excellent play by Russo defensively and then offensively. So frequently with players, you watch drills where you've got to catch and square up before you attack. Russo's there defensively, and Guerrero, good look, rewards the player that provided the defense that forced the turnover.
Now in the bonus, the Bulldogs, that was the first foul on McCaw, and Russo, a 54% free throw shooter, looks good on that one. Carter will come in now. This kid, one of the more versatile bigs in the conference, and just kind of growing into his role. A bigger role in Mountain West play. Junior from Bloomington, Minnesota, by way of New Mexico Junior College. 6-point lead, 23-17 Bulldogs as we near the 9-minute mark.
You have to really be impressed with Russo, Trey, as you alluded to, just the athleticism.
Wamu drives on Harris. Has it stripped. Harris with the steal. 43 steals for Harris. He's an all-defensive guy from a year ago.
What a terrific matchup. Here they are going at it at the other end of the floor.
Inside for Carter. Spins on Zimmerman. Can't get it to fall. Tip won't go. And a tie-up. And now Zimmerman goes down.
As the ball was being career high of 21 points for Zimmerman at New Mexico earlier in the season, but yeah.
Well, their depth already, the front court limited. It hurts even more. Here's Lewis on the other end, and an offensive foul call. It's going the other way. Lewis pushing off before that drive to the rim.
Now the crowd here at the Save Mart Center does not like it, but he does create the contact. A little bit of an extension.
That's the second on Lewis here at the 8:25 mark with the Bulldogs up 23-17. He'll sit down now. So now without Zimmerman, we already talked about Carter lost for the season, knee injury. Morgan is really their only front court guy left on this roster.
Yeah, and we talked to Coach Simon about that trade, playing 4 guards.
Cornish from the corner, drills the three. Sometimes that can be advantageous. You make them play your style.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Be yourself, play to your strengths, make the opposition adjust.
23-20 Bulldogs, under 8 minutes to go here first half.
Clearly Fresno State, if they cannot attack in transition, half-court offense.
Guerrero missing on the three, McCaw the rebound. McCaw left alone, misses the three ball, and the rebound for Harris.
Fresno State fortunate there. The guy with the ball is the most important player on the floor, and McCaw left alone but couldn't convert.
It's 33% shooting for UNLV, 32% for Fresno State. There's a bucket. Harris.
Tremendous play, great head fake. Got Wamu up in the air, off the dribble, the ability to create shots unilaterally.
Morgan had that deflected by Harris out of bounds. Bulldogs lead the Runner Rebels 25-20, 7 minutes to go first half, and a timeout. Neither team shooting it well. UNLV off the court right now and is headed to the locker room, so we'll get you updated on what the story is with Steven Zimmerman right now. UNLV will really have to rely on their perimeter play now as Wamu misses the jumper. 25-20, Fresno State lead. Well, and hopefully that's just a precaution with Big Zim.
Such a highly touted recruit.
Edo faces up, misses the baseline shot, Wamu the rebound. So if you're UNLV now, you have to rethink your game plan without the 7-footer in the lineup. Morgan missing. And it's bounced out front to Wamu. Good pass to McCaw. Morgan can't hit the baseline shot. They've played with a lot of 4 guards since Carter's departure, but this is another blow dealt to this program.
Yeah, no question. Daquan Cook no longer with the program. A lot of upheaval with the coaching change. So the Running Rebels attempting to be nimble, pliable, flexible through all the changes.
Morgan picking up his second, and that'll be the 8th team foul on UNLV.
And of course, Zimmerman, the 10th best player in the class of 2015, is ranked by ESPN as we get a good look at Todd Simon and Edo with the line.
Six double-doubles for a guy that's 6'6" and 230. As he hits that free throw. Seniors will come in. Wamu goes to the bench.
Of course, Edo out of Dallas, Texas, and you think of Rodney Terry as chief lieutenant to Rick Barnes, all the success they had with the Longhorns, Final Fours, Sweet 16s, Elite Eights, the ability to recruit that area so well here for Fresno State.
Comfortable area for him, having played college basketball there as well. 27-20, Fresno State in front. inside, and Morgan is blocked by Edo, but they say he got him with the body. Emphatic block left-handed by Edo, but Morgan with an opportunity at the free throw line.
Now Morgan did a very good job ducking in here in front of Edo. And Edo on the recovery with the block, but the official seeing a little bit of body contact.
Second on Edo, 8th team foul. Morgan, 70% for the free throw line.
Morgan, another player in the long line of guys from Baltimore. Rudy Gay, Carmelo Anthony.
You know, his dad played football for Clemson and in the NFL, and his mom played hoops at Clemson, so nice pedigree there.
Good genes, no question about it.
27-21 Bulldogs.
This is a pace, Trey, and a neighborhood points-wise that Fresno State likes.
Harris, entry, Carter, finish. He may not be the most skilled big man, but at 285, you got to give him an opportunity down there.
Good footwork, and again, you nailed it, Trey. Excellent half-court execution.
And there's a travel called on the other end on Morgan. So Carter, 2 good plays on each end.
Yeah, and either that was going to be a travel on Morgan or an offensive foul. He extended with the offhand.
Carter missed some time due to an administrative issue related to coursework in the fall. He's had some good games, had 13 against Cal State Bakersfield in the non-conference season.
He's made an impact today, no question about it.
Harris driving with the left hand. And now a little separation for Fresno State. They're up 10, under 5 minutes to go. McCaw with a big shot from the right wing. And then a tee issued to McCaw after he hits the three-pointer.
Now, I'm not sure if he taunted in front of the Fresno State bench, but that appeared to be the scenario.
Hits the three, and then maybe some words or something after the shot.
And ironically, he turned around not only right in front of the Fresno State bench, but right in front of David Hall, who was on the case. He's having none of it, and he's shutting that down.
And Harris has a couple technical free throws now. One more coming.
And again for McCaw, a sophomore out of St. Louis. This is a learning opportunity. Tremendous player, but here, you know, you're making you're making a run. You're being resilient. You're trailing by 10. You come down and hit a three on the road. You want to maintain your composure and do not disrupt the rhythm that is enabling you to hang in.
And there's little margin for error without Zimmerman, of course, without Ben Carter. And the lead is 9 right now for the Bulldogs. 33-24, 4:25 to go first half. Carter against Morgan. Half hook. Misses with it. Morgan the rebound. You got to keep going to him, though, because they don't have a big body, with the exception of Morgan, to match up against him.
Yeah. And both teams want those paint touches. Trade opens up the perimeter.
Cornish misses on the three. Carter the rebound.
Carter's had a huge impact on both ends of the floor.
This is not a big man's game. He's a big man against a small team. Harris blocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Bulldogs. Timeout, 3:52 to go. Fresno State leading UNLV 33-24. Neither team shooting it well. Only 36% shooting.
At Mack Center, all bets are off. The way the parity has been and the unpredictability, again, with the exception of the Aztecs thus far.
Yeah, Air Force shocking Boise State in Colorado Springs today.
A prime example, San Jose State beating Fresno State.
3 on the shot clock for Harris. Fires up the 3 and hammers it home. From the right wing, Harris just 4 of 9 now, but he has 13 points to lead all scorers. And they have their biggest lead now at 12. Well, if you're UNLV, what do you do now without your big man? Seegers trying to force the issue. Harris the rebound.
Yeah, well, I think for UNLV, Trey, it's certainly about pace, playing your game. Most importantly, he's got to start defensively, getting stops. You see Harris now with 13, as you mentioned. Bulldogs ready to eclipse 40 here. Under 3 to go in the first half.
Carter backing down, and he just lays it in. As Cornish at 6'6" and 215 is trying to match up with a guy that's 285.
Yeah, it's got to start, I believe, with fronting Carter. Do not allow him or limit his post touches.
Do you go zone here? I mean, they've got to come up with some other options, because right now, at 6'10", 285, there's no answer down there.
Perhaps they extend and fall back into his zone.
Baseline jumper short from McCaw, and it's starting to get away from the Runner Rebels here. 2:25 to go, 38-24 Bulldogs.
And
there is the 2-3. I mean, they had their hand forced here.
Yeah, Coach Bender, the omniscient one.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to come up with that. Guerrero missing on the 3. In the corner, the rebound pulled down by Seegers. They badly need a bucket here. Under 2 minutes to go. McCaw in transition. There's one on the layup. McCaw with 13. Carter against Morgan. And there it is again.
Carter is just asserting himself. And again, even if you're in a zone, it's still man-to-man principles. It's got to be ball you man. Act as a deterrent to him receiving so deep in the paint.
Catch underneath and the lay-in for Morgan. And it's 40-28. Morgan with 6 points. UNLV shooting just 34%. Over 40% now for the Bulldogs. Ellison misses from 10 feet away. And then a silly foul by Carter in the open floor, grabbing Seegers. He picks up the foul.
And Trey, in the meeting of these teams the first time at UNLV, they only had 5 fast break points. Today, last media break, only 2 fast break points in the game. And they're by Fresno State. So there's a telltale sign as well. UNLV trying to push, but unable to do so thus far.
And Jerome Seegers, the Rutgers transfer, veteran point guard, at the line. This is just the 3rd free throw attempt for UNLV in the first half, and he misses on the front end of the 1-on-1. And it's tracked down by Guerrero. That's been the big story. 10 of 11 free throws for the Bulldogs, 1 of 3 for the Runner Rebels.
Big differential. A lot of times, the easy thing to say is talking about the officials, but more often than not, it's the style of play that one team is getting to the free throw line more frequently than the opposition.
Harris missing on the 3. Cornish into the corner. Poyser in and out. Ellison the rebound. And the Bulldogs can essentially hold for the final shot here. Good half for Fresno State. They didn't shoot it well, but they got paint touches and they got to the foul line.
Yeah, and very wise, Trey, as well, as you alluded to. Hold here for the final shot. Very small, 2-second differential game clock, shot clock.
From the corner, Harris missing on the 3. Morgan has it with 5 seconds. Cornish gonna attack the rim and misses on the lay-in, but he's fouled with 2.6 on the clock.
Now, when you're Marvell Harris, you have the ability to take that shot and to make it. No question about that. However, it's one of those shots where coaches go, no, oh, good, if it goes in. But he doesn't convert, and now you give UNLV an opportunity to creep a little bit closer.
It set up the transition opportunity off that miss. But you normally take your chances with Harris, like you mentioned.
Yeah, it's just that balance of your talented players and having that trust in them.
Carter comes in for Ellison. Big half for Terrell Carter with 8 points and 4 rebounds. And Cornish gets a couple. 10-point game, still 2.6 to work with. Harris will let it roll. He's got it at half court. Harris fires up the 30-footer. Off the mark, we've reached halftime. 40-30 Fresno State, only shooting 37%, but they did the job inside near the rim.
Yeah, they really did. Harris as
McCaw and Seegers. That's essentially playing a couple forwards, and let's see how they respond. They're going to start out in a zone here to open up the second half. Paul Watson with a three, short. Seegers gets it into Wamu's hands. Good pass to Jones for the finish.
you get a stop, you get out in transition. That's what UNLV needs to get back into this game without Zimmerman.
Jones with 6 points now. And this seems like the right move. Do you stick in the zone the whole half or see how it plays out here?
I would not stay in it exclusively here, Trey, but I think to get your feet under you is good strategy early. I would expect Todd Simon, Max Good, Stacey Augman, the staff, and you see Jones getting loose on the offensive end in transition. I would expect them to mix up the defensive looks at Fresno. And, of course, it depends upon time, score, situation, how you respond.
8-point game just underway here, second half. Russo for three, and he knocks it down. You can see why they're excited about Cullen Russo. He is so fluid out there and really a unique skill set for his size.
He really does have that skill set. His body type is reminiscent of Paul George, if you look at him.
And there's an alley-oop and a lay-in for Jones off the feed from McCaw.
This guy loved Derrick Jones Jr. Man, oh man, he is so long and crafty around the basket.
You put it anywhere near the rim, he's got a chance. Here's a Guerrero jumper that's on the money from the left elbow. Guerrero with 5 points, and the lead is 11. There's an air ball from Wamu. Guerrero, Watson has Edo ahead. He'll take it himself for the lay-in. 13-point lead, 2 minutes into the second half.
Rodney Terry told us they want to run when they can.
Seegers with a three from the right wing.
Seegers is a real gamer. He's been playing with a little bit of a hand situation, but he's a veteran guy out of Rutgers.
3-year starter for the Scarlet Knights.
Goes from the rack to the Save Mart Center seamlessly.
Watson short from three. He's missed a couple long-range shots. Seegers ahead to McCaw. McCaw in the paint. Little floater is there.
McCaw with 13 at the half, matching Marvell Harris's 13. This game reminds me of Corey Brewer, Trey. His ability to shoot it, to drive it. He sands headband. He's gone with the headband in the past.
Here's the bucket by McCaw, but on the other end, a costly foul. He picks up his third. And the first team foul in the half here.
And that's one of the things with a short bench to be concerned about. The zone can potentially help you there to preserve guys' minutes on the floor.
Russo attacking, and that was altered by McCaw. Seegers. This is on that three. Jones climbs the ladder and lays it in.
Defense creating offense. Great help from the weak side by McCaw with the block. Seegers, the veteran, out in transition, finding Jones, who's been energized here in the second half.
10 for Jones now. McCaw stripped that momentarily. Juice Lewis on the drive, altered by Morgan, out of bounds. It'll go to UNLV. Playing with a little energy here as they have cut the lead to 6.
Jones has got 6 of the 11 points for UNLV in the second half.
Wamu attacking. Wamu lays it in, and they are in aggressive mode right now on a 9-0 run. And a timeout, Fresno State, and Rodney Terry is hot. He is on his guys now. They had stretched it to a double-digit lead. Can they consistently bring that effort for 40 minutes?
And you got to respect it. On the road, Zimmerman goes out with that sprained knee in the first half. Carter out for the season with the knee injury. Just had surgery on Thursday. Not on this road trip, of course, resting up.
Russo will drop it on the block for Edo. Shot clock under 10. Harris attacking. Tried to double clutch it. Edo with the offensive rebound. And he's fouled.
So Rodney Terry told us today that he loves when Marvell Harris is scoring, distributing, and rebounding. And here, he creates so much attention and the take to the basket, the rotation and the help, that, hey, if you're Edo, you can be opportunistic, which he is. And again, for UNLV, you're a little bit slow on the rotation. Fresno State makes you pay.
This is the first free throw. Edo's had some monster games, 15 and 14 at San Diego State. He had 11 and 11 against New Mexico. Has just 3 tonight.
Trey, we saw Joe Carr.
Misses both free throws.
We saw Joe Carr, the sports psychologist, working with the Bulldogs today. He got us motivated as well. Former
UConn psychologist. Ahead of the packets, Harris. Feeding it for Russo and the alley-oop. McCaw is fouled from 3, and that'll be on Harris. Rodney Terry was on him, get back, and they didn't in time, and McCaw will have an opportunity. Russo in transition.
We will not see him again today, which of course is a huge disappointment.
3 free throws for Patrick McCaw after he was fouled on the three-point attempt. And he's had a big game, 16 points, 9 rebounds. He's saddled, though, with 3 personal fouls.
Difficult, too. Free throws clearly with the clock stopped, advantageous to UNLV's cause. Really like McCaw's game.
Gets just 1 out of 3 from the foul line, though, and Harris tracks down the loose ball. 5-point lead. Juice Lewis, short. Followed by Edo.
Edo opportunistic against the zone. You must, as Tom Izzo would say, hit, find, and go get it when a shot goes up.
And there's a collision and a foul call as Guerrero and Jones collide, and that's 4 on Derek Jones. That's a big one.
That really is, Trey, with Jones being so.
No, that's 3. I'm sorry, 3 on Jones, 3 on McCaw, 3 on Morgan now.
The only other person more relieved than we are on that, of course, is Todd Simon with the short bench.
Still, they've got some foul problems here, and still 15 minutes to go in this one. Harris. Off the mark. That's his shot there, and couldn't get it to fall.
Of course, you can live with that. The ball went through multiple quadrants for Fresno State. Good look.
McCaw for 3. What a game for McCaw with 19 now. He's hit 4 3-pointers.
He has been terrific, providing the offense so desperately needed by UNLV.
Russo with the answer. Has a dozen now. Getting better and better as the conference season rolls on.
Yeah, really a limitless upside for Russo, Trey, as he develops his game.
And there's a foul on the floor on the Seagears drive. That'll be the second team foul on Fresno State.
You could just feel the potential in Russo and how terrific he can be for Rodney Terry.
In the corner, Cornish. Poiser, the freshman, reaching in was Harris, out of bounds. It's going to stay with UNLV. Harris said he bounced it off his knee. He doesn't get the call.
Great job by our crew.
Got to sell it though, Bill.
Marvell's like, I'm first team all conference. You got to give me that call, John Stigliano.
And here's another foul on the floor. Whistled against the Bulldogs. This will be Carter, and that's his second, third team foul. His pace has slowed a little bit here. Morgan missing on the 3.
UNLV remaining in the zone here thus far in the second half.
Harris attacking, he lays it in. They left him alone, he took advantage.
Carter had a huge seal on that play, enabling Harris to finish unabated.
Harris almost had a steal, and now travel's called on Morgan. He said he had the pivot foot set, but it goes against him.
So another juncture here for UNLV as Fresno State has extended to 8. See so frequently in shoot-arounds, you know, the mantra of stop, score, stop, stop, score. So again here, UNLV in the zone with another defensive possession where they need a stop.
Russo over to Harris. Good look from the left wing, and the three is good. 18 for Harris, his second three-pointer.
Fresno State's done a great job of finding Harris on the weak side.
Poyser can't convert. McCaw on the interior, not there. Follow is there for McCaw. McCaw playing at another level right now. The sophomore's been sensational.
Tenacious. McCaw now at the bottom of the zone.
He has 21 to go with 10 rebounds. Lewis. And they have been knocking down the open jumpers. This
is the dilemma now for UNLV, because if you stay in the zone, you need to bring the juice and the energy to defend. Be interesting to see what Simon does after the medium break defensively.
Cornish, good look inside, and that'll be a goaltend. Wamu's going to get credit for the bucket there, but it all started with the Cornish feed.
Yeah. Cornish is one of those glue guys, kind of a do-it-all type. But look at the excellent find there. Great job by our camera crew finding Harris on the weak side. And of course, you need to be aware of where he is on the floor at all times.
Russo misses that one from about 15 feet away, and Cornish the rebound. Both teams well up over 50% here shooting in the second half. Cornish in and out on that three-pointer. Battle for the loose ball. Poyser saves it, but into the hands of Lewis. A break the other way. Russo the finish.
Great decision by Lewis. Stops at the free throw line. Finds Russo, save mark center into it.
Cornish drives it baseline. Misses the lay-in, but a foul call. And I think they're going to get Russo here. And Cornish is down after that drive.
Yeah, he was hit. It, you know, sometimes when it rains, it pours, but thankfully, we see Cornish at the line here. Bouncing back.
Sophomore from New Orleans. Last year, he had a tremendous season shooting the basketball. 49% from three-point line, #2 in school history, and he gets a couple free throws.
Yeah, Cornish is highly tuned athlete. He's got that NBA body.
9-point game. Just under 12 minutes to go here. And again, that zone look from the Runner Rebels. And you got to be aware where Marvell Harris is. He's on the right wing right now. And they get it to him in the corner. And he hits the three.
Yeah, and you know, McCaw, just the sophomore, closes out. But again, with a guy like Harris, you really have to shade him and close out in a hard fashion. But of course, then he's going to put it to the deck and go by you potentially.
Seegers is fouled on his drive inside. And it's the second on Ellison.
We see a good drive here. Crowd doesn't like it. But Seegers, veteran guy, will get to the free throw line. He knows how to sell it.
And he's a scoring point guard. He's actually #2 in the conference in assist turnover ratio, but put 16 on the board against Oregon, had 17 against Air Force, and will be looked on to score a little bit more now without Zimmerman, without Carter. You know, he's going to get more shots here down the stretch in the season.
Yeah, no question. UNLV doing a nice job of hanging in.
Harris pump fake this time. Lewis from the corner. Hits the three.
Lewis now with 10 points off the bench. He's had a good afternoon.
Morgan missing inside. Out of bounds. It's going the other way. Well, we talked about the free throw numbers favoring the Bulldogs in the first half. They're 8 of 16 from three-point land as well. And they lead by 13.
Yeah, both teams shooting pretty well from downtown.
Well, that could have been a carry. They don't call it on Ellison. Harris off the curl, lays it in. They run that play really well.
Yeah, he's such a tough cover, Trey, with a full head of steam to the basket.
Wamu off the mark, Russo the rebound, and now a danger zone for UNLV.
Fresno State extending without McCaw on the floor.
Carter just leaning in, very Shaq-esque with that move from number 34.
He has been all of it. Who knows, they may want to erect a statue of him outside the Save Mart Center before it's all said and done.
Most points he's ever had in a Mountain West game, now at 10. Wamu forces that three up, then he hits it. Straight away, they needed something positive, and he drills it.
Wamu willing it in from downtown.
14-point game. Fresno State has hit their last 5 years. Carter again. This time he has it stripped. It's a corner steal. Wamu again. Hits another three. That'll get you back in a hurry, and they're within 11.
Wamu was feeling it, as you mentioned, Trey, playing with a heavy heart. A lot of gusto here this afternoon.
And a foul called on UNLV. They'll go on Seegers. Wamu a couple three-pointers, trying to help out his team from the top of the circle, from the left wing. He has 12 points now on 5 of 10 shooting.
UNLV just showing tremendous grit, determination. There's so much adversity.
Yeah, it's a mid-season coaching change, injuries, departures from the program. Lewis jumper is good from 15 feet away. Lewis has a dozen. Wamu. And the tip-in will go. And Jones is going to get credit for that one with a dozen now.
And of course, it was Jabri Bryant fatally shot. Macon, Georgia, a teammate of Wamu, while he's wearing number 34 and playing with such a heavy heart. So much adversity for UNLV.
Part of that Mercer team that beat Duke in the NCAA tournament. Guerrero for three. Well, he has really been shooting it well lately. They have hit their last 7 field goals. Guerrero extends the lead to 14.
And is Fresno State effectively shooting themselves out of the zone? Will UNLV adjust here after the next media break? That'll be a decision for Coach Todd Simon and Stacey Augman, Ryan Miller, of course Max Good on the staff.
And there's another corner three from Wamu, heating up now. He's hit 3 threes here in the last couple minutes. But right now, they're not able to stop the Bulldogs on this end. Edo, bouncer in the paint. Watson had it stripped out of bounds. It will stay with the Bulldogs. 7:50 to go. Fresno State now shooting 49% from the field. Rodney Terry has to like what he sees. 67% shooting here in the second half.
70 points before their opponents. Fresno State is 11-0. And also, when they do score in the 80s, they also have an unblemished record due the Bulldogs. So they're comfortable in that neighborhood as long as they defend.
There's a miss. The first in 8 attempts for Fresno State. Lewis can't convert on it. In the corner, Wamu, and that was blocked by Harris, picked up though by Jones, and he's fouled. You defend that pretty well, and Jones found a way to get to the basketball.
Yeah, Jones is so elusive. Here, great extension by Harris defending Wamu. Ball's up for grabs, hits the foot of Guerrero, and Jones knows what to do with it. When he gets it, he's going to attack. He's in attack mode. And to be specific, Ray, because I know you like specificity, it's 7-0 Fresno State when they score in the 80s this campaign.
Well, Jones, ESPN rated number 27 out of high school, top recruit in Pennsylvania. A James Harden fan, maybe because he's a left-hander, but he doesn't play like Harden. Harden's more of a shooter and a scorer. This guy's just a human highlight reel.
He really is. Trey, the Midnight Man, this scenario where he jumped off over half of the team, including Zimmerman, and UNLV remaining in the zone.
10-point game. In the corner, Harris thought about it, had it stripped, and it's a steal by Wamu. Chance to get it to single digits. Cornish the finish, and they're within 8. And Coach Simon sticking with that zone exclusively here in the second half.
And to UNLV's credit, they have really hung around.
Lewis snipes into the zone and misses on the intermediate jumper. It's tapped out front to McCaw. Runner Rebels breaking. Cornish calling for the ball, drives baseline, lays it in. He saw the lane, called for the ball, and took advantage, and they're within 6. 8-0 run.
Jordan Cornish has been big. McCaw's been quiet, back on the floor now, but Fresno State extended when he was out. Now they're making another run with McCaw on the floor are the Rebels. Guerrero
missing the runner. McCaw 3. That would have been a big one, but Morgan gets the offensive rebound. They're knocking on the door here as we hit the 6-minute mark. Wamu again. Oh, why not? He nails the 3 from distance and has 18.
Wow. Let me tell you, Wamu does not really need much space. Does not necessarily need to even square up from the hoop, and with that range, he's a threat getting off the bus.
It's an 11-0 run. Guerrero in and out from 3. They get another opportunity. Watson the offensive rebound, and now Rodney Terry says, let's slow it down here, use some clock as they work it toward 5 minutes. Watson can't hit the shot in the paint. 3-point game. Morgan over Harris, hits the side of the backboard. Good defense.
Exactly, Trey. Tremendous post defense.
And the look ahead for
Edo. Excellent vision and rim running by Edo and the Bulldogs.
Cornish not there. Morgan is fouled. How much do the Runner Rebels have left in the tank? No Zimmerman, no Carter. They are battling here after erasing a huge deficit. They're within 5.
That's just a great, quick release by Wamu. And look at the great vision by Harris. Edo rim running. That's what Rodney Terry loves. He says, yes, we are going to run selectively when we can. You control glass. When does a defensive possession end? When you secure a rebound. What does Edo do when you've got possession? He rim runs. Simplicity for the Bulldogs.
Morgan looks gassed. He's had to go most of the way here at the post position without the big man Zimmerman. If you just joined us, sprained knee in the first half, will not return for this game. Morgan hits a couple free throws. This is, you touched on, this is an inspired effort from UNLV, shorthanded. They're within 3, and now some full court pressure, and they get the steal. Wamu to Cornish for the lay-in.
Not a question of if, just a question of when Simon was going to turn up the heat.
Russo. Harris going to take the quick 3, and he hits it. A big shot to put him up 4. 26 for Harris. Test of wills here. Wamu on the inside. Misses. It's tracked down by Morgan. WAMU again. Another three. 21 for WAMU, playing with a heavy heart.
Yeah, he has been sensational. UNLV now on a made basket, falling back into the zone.
And there's a kick with 3:58 to go in this one, a one-point game. WAMU 5 for 7 from beyond the arc. His former Mercer teammate fallen. He's dedicated, wearing 33.
Brown, his teammate at Mercer. They defeated Duke in the NCAA tournament a couple of years ago, and WAMU feeling it on the road at the Save Mart Center.
Here's Lewis attacking for the Bulldogs. Misses inside. Carter with the putback. He has been huge, literally and figuratively, in this one. They're up 3. Jones for the tie. Air ball. Lewis. We near the 3-minute mark here. Every possession crucial. They go to the wing for Harris. He thought about it. Lewis from the corner. Short. Morgan the rebound. WAMU on the attack. Lays it in. He has 23 now to lead the Run Rebels.
Special performance by WAMU. And you touched on it, Trey, so critical every possession, and particularly the defensive glass. You cannot allow Carter, Russo to attack with Harris, Guerrero, and Lewis on the perimeter operating.
10 on the shot clock. Harris from the left wing. Missed that one. McCaw a weak side rebound, and a chance for the lead now for UNLV. Cornish. Jones the catch, and he's fouled. Couldn't get the bucket. He'll go to the free throw line, and they have a chance to tie this game up. It's taken them the entire game to get there.
Now, the last UNLV win, it was McCaw against Boise State at home, going for 25. They've lost 2 straight since then. He has been stuck on 21 since midway through the first half. Now, he's played within himself, played with poise, but not only do you have to worry about Cornish, WAMU, also McCaw.
Big free throw for Jones to even things up here. He has 14. You got to credit Coach Simon here. They go to the zone. They're shorthanded without Zimmerman. They've responded. The guys really have responded. You got to tip your hat to him.
Yeah, he's handled it well. Seemed very relaxed at shoot around, comfortable in his own skin.
Jones misses. The offensive rebound for Morgan and the putback. And they've got the lead. First lead since the 17-minute mark first half.
Man, oh man, offensive rebounds, they're right up there with the worst things in life. Running out of pretzels, ATM fees, and then giving up offensive rebounds. I'm not sure in that order, but they're all awful.
Guerrero for the lead. Not there. Jones tracks it down in the corner with 2 minutes to go. WAMU attacking. Blocked by Carter. And McCaw got a hand on that one. Great effort. It's been an amazing second half after it was kind of lackluster there in the first half.
A plucky result. A little scrap going on here with Carter and Morgan. And we saw McCaw earlier with the technical foul in the first half. A little trash talk to the bench. It was an unsportsmanlike technical assessed by David Hall.
Now, there are only 4 team fouls on UNLV, so Fresno State not in the bonus yet, so the Run Rebels can afford to be aggressive here. Though they are in a zone, they have some fouls to give.
Morgan may have been asking about good restaurants in Fresno for later tonight, but I highly doubt it.
Not likely. And now a foul called away from the ball. Carter is fouled by Morgan, and that's his 4th.
So much of it is footwork in the paint, and it's got to be ball you man. Carter, to his credit, utilizing his body and position.
And that's the 15th foul. Still a foul to give here. Harris driving, lays it in, and we're tied. 28 for Marvell Harris. Cornish Morgan, and he's fouled by Russo. And that's number 3 on Russo.
So for UNLV, sticking to the script, a great drive by Harris. He's an all-league guy, and that's what you'd expect. Him stepping up big time, so elusive. And here, in contrast, UNLV just plays in that game. That first shot attempt taking place within the first 10 seconds on the shot clock.
And Morgan hits the free throw. He's 4 of 5 from the stripe, coming in a 70% free throw shooter. Edo will check in for Carter now. Runner Rebels back in front with 1:29 to go. Morgan with 11 points and 9 boards in this one, and he gets them both. Well, it's been the Harris show, but Russo and Lewis have been big as well.
This is really the Mountain West personified, this matchup between teams that have shown it, been inconsistent, trying to find it.
Harris against McCaw. It's been a great matchup. Gets a screen from Edo. Misses the jumper. Rebound, Jones. Tied up momentarily. The Runner Rebels have possession. 1 minute to go. And a timeout, UNLV. 88-86. Both teams lights out offensively in the second half. Fresno State shooting 53%. UNLV 56% from the field.
4-2 in games decided by 6 to 9. So they've been good in close situations.
McCaw handling it against Harris. Gets a screen from Morgan. Shot clock at 12. Wamu fires up the 3. Not that time. Russo battling for it in the corner. So does McCaw. Guerrero has it. Chance for the tie of the lead now. Harris attacking. Lays it in. And we're tied. Runner Rebels, 3-second difference, game clock and shot clock. They'll call a timeout.
How ironic, Rodney Terry telling us at shoot-around 50-50 balls. That's what we missed at San Jose State, and that's how they get it here. Guerrero, and of course, you can live with 30.
Well, Wamu's had the hot hand. Where do the Runner Rebels go here? They're going to work this clock down. 3-second difference, game clock and shot clock. McCaw has the floor spread against Harris.
Want to attack around 7 or 8. Opportunity for a putback, a little differential, as you mentioned, Trey. Shot clock, game clock.
He goes with 4, loses the handle. Jones has it, leaning in. Underneath, it's still loose. Russo throws it into the air. We're headed to overtime. What a frantic finish. And a little extra time here at the Save Mart Center.
Good job by the officials, letting the players decide.
As we start this overtime period, 3 on McCaw, 3 on Jones. A whole host of players with 3 fouls for Fresno State. And the Bulldogs win the opening tip. Fresno State lost an overtime game at San Diego State. You talked about that just moments ago. Now at home in overtime. Russo for 3. And that's probably not the shot Coach Terry wants, and he has a grimace on his face over on the sideline.
No, you're right, Trey. That's kind of an inauspicious start for Fresno State in overtime.
Shot clock down to 10 for Wamu, picked up by Harris. Wamu drives it, scoop shot, air ball. You wonder about fatigue now as we move into the overtime period for both teams with limited benches.
Yeah, it's you know, the physical element of it for sure, and then mentally.
They're going to dry off the ball here.
Well, guys playing with inspiration and perspiration.
Whoever wins this is going to be a big boost. I mean, momentum-wise, both playing shorthanded. Harris for 3. And UNLV with a chance for the lead now. Wamu gets his man in the air and he draws the foul. Russo fouls him beyond the arc. 3 free throws coming.
You make a great point, Trey. The watershed moments of a season. How does it turn? you know, for UNLV, what a confidence boost and a lift this would be to win on the road. And meanwhile, for Fresno State, if they get it done, you feel like you're righting the ship. It's Rodney Terry, David Hall have a little chat.
It's going to be 3 free throws. They're going to go to make sure this is 3 or 2. Was he beyond the arc when he was fouled? It looked like he was. An official review here at the 3:49 mark in overtime. UNLV, there's Wamu. Oh, it's 2 shots. The foot was over the line, so it will be 2 free throws, not 3 for Wamu. Good job there on that official review. David Hall, one of the best in the business.
Yeah, no question about that. And Fresno State 0-1 in overtime games. You mentioned the San Diego State, and uncharted territory for UNLV on this campaign. Does not look like they've been in an overtime game as yet.
They're first. That's what I have as well. Wamu missing. Rebound inside, and Jones is fouled. So they get the free throw to take the lead and then hit the offensive glass. And they're winning the battle of the boards 50-40 in this one.
Just the tenacity. And again, you know, you get the physicality of Derrick Jones at his length. You really have to put a body on him and accentuate it. It's like that Stephanie Mills hit back in the 80s. Put a body in it. You got to really make sure when you're boxing out a guy like Derrick Jones.
Russo has 4 now. Russo with 4, Morgan with 4 on the other side. And Jones misses them both, and the lead stays at 1.
Points hard to come by thus far.
Something about the mentality of going the overtime period. It's the players are already worn out, having to survive regulation. Russo thought about the 3, opts not to shoot. This time Guerrero's going to fire it up there. Short. Wamu the rebound, fires it ahead for McCaw. Harris gets back and fouls him. He kept him from the field goal. He'll put him on the line.
That's a class move by Marvell Harris. You know, you're in the heat of competition. Number one, it's just very smart. Look at Wamu. Just throwing it out there like Cam Newton. And
I like that on the eve of the Super Bowl.
And great presence of mind of Harris to not only get back in transition, but to wrap up McCaw. No harm, of course, intended.
It is the 4th, though, on Harris, so he'll have to be careful now. Russo and Harris each with 4 personals.
I had McCaw with 21 points with 11:54 to go and did not score the final 12 minutes of regulation. Now he gets back in business again. He had 25 in that win against Boise State. He's come up big again today and really played within himself, Trey, when the offense was not coming to him in the natural flow. Sign of maturity for McCaw.
3-point game, 3 minutes to go in overtime. Harris drives it, pulls up, off the mark, rebound, Jones. They have the lead and the ball with under 3 minutes to go.
Simple, solid, smart. Mantra of many coaches, including George Karl, late in games, really any time within a game.
Cornish in the paint, lost the handle. Saved to Morgan, out of bounds. It will stay with UNLV. 6 seconds to work with on the shot clock.
A 3 here makes it a 2-possession game.
And they'll mop up the floor underneath the basket. UNLV and Fresno State both 43% from the field in this one. It was a 17-point lead for the Bulldogs, the 10:07 mark in the second half before UNLV came storming back.
Coaching is a tough, tough profession on both ends of the spectrum. We're up 17 at home with a veteran team. We're trailing by 17 with a young squad.
Wamu from the corner, short off the front iron. Harris the rebound. Chance to tie with a 3 here. Lewis, baseline jumper is there. They're within 1. Lewis has done a nice job offensively with 14.
He's been terrific off the bench. Real spark plug, energy.
Wamu steps through. 2 minutes to go in overtime. Shot clock at 8. High screen. Wamu bumped and fouled by Carter. Tried to hedge out there, Bill.
Yes, and Wamu will get to the free throw line, not in the act of shooting. I do not believe.
That's 4 on Carter now. 4 on Carter, Russo, and Harris for the Bulldogs.
The way Wamu was shot from 3, it's tough to fault Carter for defending, even, like you said, hedging on the high ball screen.
25 for Wamu. And he gets 1 out of 2. Russo the rebound, 2-point game. Lewis tries to tie it, and he does with the right wing. 16 for Julian Lewis, the 5th-year senior.
None bigger than his last 2 field goals here in overtime.
Timeout UNLV, a season high for Lewis to draw him even with 1:23 to go. Now we have seen some beauty. Tied at 92. Fresno State has not been able to get to the free throw line here in the second half and right in overtime. Here's McCaw missing on the 3, and it's into Lewis's hands. A chance for the lead now as we near 1 minute to go in overtime. Russo, Guerrero, and McCaw the rebound.
Not a guy afraid of big moments, that's for sure. Guerrero with moxie taking the 3. Couple of touches inside out. Good look, just didn't drop.
Wamu, he's had the hot hand for 3. Russo the rebound. And with 36 seconds to go, he is fouled.
Now it looks like Jones hit him in the face in pursuit of the rebound.
That's his 4th. And with 35 seconds to go, 5-second difference, game clock and shot clock. Here we go.
Critical for UNLV to box out, limit Fresno State to 1 shot opportunity. And for Fresno State, you want to continue to get good looks against the zone. Multiple touches, put it on the rim.
Shot clock at 10. Lewis for the lead. Rims out of there. McCaw has it with 9 seconds. Wamu loses the handle. Guerrero's got it with 3. Fires it up. And we're headed to the second overtime. Wait a minute, there's still .8 on the clock. And UNLV's going to have one last chance at it here. Guerrero maybe fired that too early.
Yeah, he had a little bit more time, and it looks like he obviously recognizes that now.
They're going to take a look at the clock here to make sure they might have a little bit more time than the .8 that it shows right now.
And for UNLV, you're kind of playing with house money, pun intended, with the game tied in transition. Wamu, who's been so spectacular, trying to make something happen, but the turnover, and Guerrero fires it.
Out of bounds. We saw it at somewhere around 1, but we'll get this rectified. 1.3. That gives you some time to catch and make a play.
Yeah, absolutely, no question about it. And Trey, we saw them work on this play, end of game situations at shoot around.
Cornish will trigger it. Obviously, WAMU would be an option. They can get it to him. Cornish fires it. Catch by McCaw. Fires it up there. Hits the backboard, and we're headed to the second overtime. This is a game that it's amazing no one is fouled out. Someone probably will in the second overtime.
The Mountain West Conference.
Point Fresno State lead at the 10-minute mark second half. UNLV playing without Steven Zimmerman, sprained his knee in the first half. They're without Ben Carter for the rest of the season with a knee injury. Fresno State playing without Torrin Jones, a medical issue, did not suit up for this game. Both shorthanded, but tremendous effort on both sides. Russo thought about the three, shot clock under 10. Lewis, foul line jumper is good. Where would they be without Lewis? He has 18.
Yeah, Fresno State has done a great job getting the ball into that area of the zone, whether it's Lewis, Russo. But you're right, he has been prodigious off the bench as Lewis for the Bulldogs.
McCaw against Guerrero's going to drive it. A little half hook not there. Edo the rebound. And there's that zone. They have stuck with it throughout the second half and overtime. Guerrero, alley-oop, Edo! He thought about the three and then he spotted Edo underneath.
Guerrero, the provocateur. Like G-Eazy. It's not me, myself, and I. It's we for Guerrero. He likes to take the big shot, but he also dissects the zone.
And Harris got a hand on that one on the pass. Two-possession game. Second overtime here in Fresno.
And it was the nonverbal communication. Tremendous cohesion. Guerrero to Edo.
WAMU steps through, can't convert. Harris the rebound.
Now for UNLV, still a lot of time left. You just got to focus on this possession, get a stop. You're trailing by 4. Just maintain that determination.
Harris for 3. Well, that would have been a big one. Would have brought the house down, but Cornish the rebound. McCaw got it from the corner. 26 for Patrick McCaw. They're back within 1.
McCaw is trash talking. He's draining shots. He's pointing. He loves it on the road. He loves silencing the crowd.
How about 26 and 15 rebounds from McCaw? Edo is fouled hard, and he's in some pain as he hits the floor. Jones is going to get the personal. Boy, that was a tough collision on the hardwood.
A tremendous
here. He's a 54% free throw shooter. UNLV getting to choose, and they put Russo on the line. And he knocks it down calmly.
How about that? Russo in a tough spot, stepping up to the free throw line.
Gets 1 out of 2. 2-point lead. 2:40 to go, second overtime. Morgan securing it underneath the bucket. In trouble. He's out of bounds. They turn it over.
Morgan just could not find the handle. That was a good offensive possession. Excellent utilization of the pick and roll by WAMU, but UNLV will have to turn the page on the turnover.
They've looked at zone throughout the entire second half in both overtime periods after facing man in the first half.
That was an adjustment that you made from here, Trey.
Shot clock's at 10. Harris for 3. Big triple from the right wing. 33 for Marvell. And they've hit the century mark. Cornish can't convert. Part of the rebound. And now Guerrero at the controls. They'll use some clock here. Season high for Harris.
Marvell Harris has been spectacular.
Dump down to Carter. Foul on the floor. Cornish shaken up. That was a good pump fake by Carter. and he'll go to the line.
Just great execution against the zone. You know, anytime the ball gets into the interior, you're basically looking at a 3-on-2 scenario.
It'll be a 1-and-1. Carter just 9 of 13 from the stripe this season.
None bigger than these. Trey right here.
And he rolls in the front end. Here's a big free throw here. Right now it's a 2-possession game. Career game for Carter. He gets them both. 14 points, 8 rebounds for the sophomore from Redondo Beach.
Now, we saw Joe Carr, the noted sports psychologist with Fresno State, on the floor. And it happens. It's a game of mistakes. It's like that expression, life is 99% of how you react to life.
How does UNLV react down 7? McCaw for 3. Morgan, the offensive rebound, and he's fouled. Before the shot, it's on the floor, and that will be the 5th on Carter. He is fouled out. What a game for this, 14 and 8. Great effort from the big man.
Yeah, he was terrific. He made an impact immediately, Trey, this afternoon. Just a great effort on the box score. He had the physical presence in the game as well. Kind of changed the dynamic in a significant way for Fresno State.
Career high with 14 points, 8 rebounds as well. Morgan now, who is 5 for 6 at the free throw line. Rolls in the first one. 13 for Morgan to go with 12 rebounds. They have 2 guys with double-doubles. McCaw has the other one, and he gets that free throw as well.
Shooting right into the Fresno State band and student section, impervious to distraction.
And full court pressure. Harris is trapped. Watson to Lewis. He's going to pull up. Russo gets the offensive rebound and a timeout. I think Terry calling it right there with 1:28 to go. That's a big rebound to maintain possession.
It really is, and I like Simon and his crew going with the pressure there, Trey, looks like he can still suit up, Trey, that's for sure.
Guerrero into Russo. And he's fouled. And they have a huge size advantage right now as Wamu at 6'5" tried to check him down.
Yeah. Good patience on the inbound play and a good seal by Russo.
Second on Wamu. And Russo has been solid, 4 of 5 now from the stripe, 16 points.
Not bad for a guy. Five of 17 in conference league coming into today. Trey, for Russo from the free throw line. He comes up big here. Incredible.
A double-double. And here's a drive and a foul called as Wamu drives in the paint.
I think it was Oscar Wilde who said the inability to remember is infinitely more devastating than the inability to forget. And Russo is just turning the page. He's shooting 30% in conference from the line. He comes in double overtime. He's draining free throws. He's got Todd Simon picking him out. He's still making them.
Wamu has 25. He's 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Would put him on his back in the second half to get him back in it.
Yeah, what an unbelievable performance by Wamu, Trey. You're so right, scintillating. There's Russo. Man, oh man.
Got them both. Wamu draws him within 5. In the backcourt, Lewis is trapped. Watson over to Guerrero as we near the 1-minute mark. Keeps the dribble going.
Man-to-man here by UNLV. Needed to stop and a defensive rebound.
Harris takes it home. 35, and this is the most points ever scored by Fresno State in this building. Cornish leaning in, count the bucket and one. They just keep coming as they have topped the century mark.
Plucky, resilient UNLV. This will not go away.
That's on Lewis, that foul there.
And Marvell Harris, I mean, come on. Can anybody stop him? You got to call the campus police to stop this guy.
Cornish hits the free throw, converts on the three-point play. It's a 4-point game. Here's that pressure again. Lewis to Watson, and he's fouled. They'll put Watson on the line, a 70% free throw shooter. He's 1 for 1 tonight.
His second personal.
And really now, UNLV's got to hope that they can be opportunistic on some missed free throws by Fresno State. Trailing by 4. Watson can make this a 2-possession game here at the charity stripe.
Converts on the front end to 1-1. A quiet night for Watson now, 6 points. He has 4 fouls. Russo and Harris also with 4. But they have the lead with 41.7 on the clock. 6-point game.
Big free throws by Watson, clutch.
You go 3 here. McCaw, charges call. Russo had position, that would have been his 5th, it's going the other way. And that's 4 on Lewis to trigger. Looking, still looking, and has to call a timeout.
Well executed by UNLV. We'll see what Rodney Terry draws up here. As far as a press break, Trey, we saw Russo. Exactly, Trey. Without Carter as well, with an energy guy in the front court, out with the knee surgery.
Guerrero has it in the backcourt, and he's fouled. So they put Cesar Guerrero on the line. He's a 74% free throw shooter.
Yeah, and you have no other option for the Running Rebels.
His first free throw attempt tonight, though.
Cesar Guerrero, shooting 2.
And it's 2 free throws the rest of the way for both teams. 5th-year senior from Huntington Park, California. And misses on the first one. Here's a big one here, though.
And I do think here, Trey, if you get a good look at a 3, take it. If make or miss almost.
Guerrero trying to stretch this to a 7-point advantage. And he does. 109-102. Lewis checks out. And they bring in Lionel Ellison, a defensive stalwart here for this trip down the floor. McCaw misses. Tip not there. But McCaw there to tip it in with the left hand.
UNLV wanted to travel there.
Harris is fouled.
That was a good possession for Fresno State. They burned a lot of clock. And you've got an all-conference guy going to the free throw line in Marvell Harris. Up 5.
Yeah, 3rd on Seegears. Morgan and McCaw still playing with 4. And what else can you say about Harris with 35? Make it 36 points. He had 32 against San Jose State. This is a season high for him.
He has just done it all.
Got them both. Now you got to be thinking 3, don't you?
Absolutely.
McCaw fires it up. Misses. Russo the rebound, and the Bulldogs can smell it now. Russo trying to dribble out of trouble. He does. And Fresno State is going to get a hard-fought victory here at the Save Mart Center. 111-104 in double overtime. Congratulations to the Bulldogs and a tremendous effort from UNLV.
Yeah, it really was. Both teams leaving it all on the floor, and